Janat's Irish Boxing, Weatherford, Texas. This is basically part two of our Manny Pacquiao, Money Mayweather predictions, analysis, breakdown, whatever you'd like to call it, the fight on May 2nd. I wanted this to be more of a, as I said before, I wanted this to be more of an analysis than it would be a prediction, and that's what I'm going to try to stick with. Looking at Pacquiao's straight left versus Mayweather's straight right. As in the case with most southpaw orthodox lineups, the cross will be the most important punch of this fight. There's no question about that. And looking at here lately how Marquez's overhand right ended it with Pac. Even though Pacquiao's straight left is more powerful and Mayweather's is more accurate, as we've alluded to earlier, it's slightly quicker, more versatile. Even though Pac historically overcommits with his straight left, which leaves him way open for Mayweather's overhand right. You have to understand that as far as getting caught, Mayweather doesn't get caught too often, and Pac is not easily deterred by missing punches, but hard counter punches easily change Pacquiao's game up. There's no doubt that feints are going to be important in this fight. Where Mayweather's head's going to be, the timing of the straight, the timing of the hook. The problem that Pacquiao's going to have is Mayweather's jab is a lot more difficult to time than his is. And Mayweather's sharpshooter right is so accurate and it has such a good snap that he uses it to pull his counter. By pulling counter, he pulls his head back and he tucks it in, and he quickly throws his straight, his jab against the southpaw, or he counters over the top. And Pac misses with his left. Mayweather can come over the top with his right. But timing the jab, the same move that Pacquiao uses in timing his jab so effectively, well, Mayweather uses that too. And in a sense, he uses it more to effect because Mayweather can land his straight right while Pac's throwing his jab, and that's all there is to it. Both guys have great speed on their jabs, but in a jabbing contest, Pac's unconventional jab, it just doesn't. It's not going to line up well against Mayweather, and Mayweather hasn't historically thrown his jab against southpaws. It doesn't land with any authority. It doesn't land heavy, but it's almost always used to set up his other shots. And looking at Pac's jab, I'm watching it right now, and it's quick. It stuns his fighters. It catches them out of position. It catches them off guard. But he uses it as more of a range finder, and he uses it to lure their opponents out of their shell. And with a fighter like Mayweather, you're never going to lure him out of that defensive shell, and you're probably not going to beat him on the speed on his jab. But the thing about it is the shot that's going to cause Mayweather the most problems is going to be Manny's power jab when he steps in jabs, because he throws it right after his straight left, and he throws it a lot. And what you have to understand is that that's his trick shot. Just how Mayweather has his check left hook, which we talked about earlier. This is one of Manny's shots. And with Mayweather's jabs not landing with any authority or any weight against southpaws, I don't want you to think that I'm saying that's not effective. Because if he jabs to the body, he leaves it out there as a rangefinder. You cannot step toward Pacquiao without being unprepared. You cannot step to Mayweather without being unprepared. But I think Mayweather's going to have a hard time stopping Pacquiao with his jab. It's not strong enough, and it's not going to, because Pacquiao will take a shot. For Mayweather, neutralizing Pacquiao is going to depend on his right hand. And there's almost no question about that. You know, if we look at Pac's, high activity level versus, Mayweather being more economic and being more tactical, you know, it's not going to be whoever's doing the most work in this fight. If we look at it like that, Pacquiao could definitely outwork Floyd. There's no question about that. Even though Floyd could make him miss a lot, and his shots were missing a lot, I think that at the end of the day, my phone's ringing, and I think at the end of the day, you're gonna find that the key for Mayweather in this fight is going to be able is going to the key in this fight for him is going to lie in how he stops Pacquiao's aggressiveness, and he needs to stop it with his right hand and by figuring out an effective way to stop this, whether it's a clinch game or otherwise. Hey, baby, you are on part 2 of the Pac Money Mayweather breakdown. You're on the video of the Manny Pacquiao Money Mayweather breakdown. Yeah, I'm looking at me right now, looking at you talking on the phone, or something like that. Getting off late. Yeah, well, I hate you and I never want to see you again. You still on the phone? Alright, back to what we were talking about. This is the newly single Janot's Irish Boxing Weather for Texas. Back to what we were talking about. You have to understand that with this fight, Teddy Atlas, when this fight first came up, Teddy Atlas had the pleasure of being boxing's first reaction, as far as a guy who knows what he's talking about, as far as an announcer, as far as a personality goes. He was the first one, and he said, I hope it's an exciting fight. He didn't know whether it was going to be what it could be, number one, or be what it, some guys think, it's going to be a toe-to-toe stand-up slug game. And as much as that sounds great, if we look at the facts, Mayweather's known for his passive stick, his move style, his style. That's what he's known for. And at the end of the day, this fight is going to be whose style is more effective against the others, and at the same time, who can change their style the fastest to outwork the other. Because if you think that Manny Pacquiao can't win on points, this fight goes 12 rounds, which it won't, and it goes to the judges. Pat could win it. There's no reason he couldn't. But as far as this stand-up, toe-to-toe, pounding it out, Mayweather's not going to do that. Mayweather doesn't like to get hit. He's like Roy Jones Jr. Why get hit if you don't have to, Mayweather has been able to handle some power fighters like Ortiz and Maidana. But with fighters like, with speed and power fighters like Judah and Mosley, he had trouble with them. And I think that's going to be really a really important thing to think about, because I think Pacquiao has heavier hands than most of those guys on that list, but he uses them in a different way, a way that Mayweather's not used to. Mayweather, according to CompuBox, is the most accurate puncher in boxing. And that could, a lot of that has to do with the fact that how his style, and he doesn't throw unnecessary shots, and he's able to pick his shots, and by picking his punches carefully. But there are moments that he's been made to miss, like like in the Madonna fight, that are going to be so important for Pacquiao to exploit. It can't be underestimated. I don't think that Mayweather can just come in here lazily and knock Pacquiao out. But if he wants to win, he's going to have to turn it up. And the thing about Pac is, if Pac just tried to overwhelm him with activity, and that was his strategy, Mayweather could just be expected to make him throw more and miss more and get frustrated and him win the fight, which is what he's used to. But if Pac turns it up at the right time, in a way that he hasn't before, or in the way that he used to fight, I think that's going to be one of his keys to this fight here. Talking about who has the faster hands, I don't think speed is really going to come into question here, because both of these guys are crazy fast. Pacquiao has a faster combination punching, there's no doubt. Mayweather has a fastest single punch speed, way faster. And Mayweather just came off a speedy southpaw fight with Zeb Judah, and the thing about Pac's hands is that he throws a lot of straight fast punches, and he throws a lot of straight lefts followed by his power jab, and Mayweather hasn't faced somebody like this with the speed that Manny's got. And on the other hand, Pac's never faced anyone like Mayweather. Closest thing would be Timothy Bradley. And he was able to tag Pac with his right, consistently throughout the whole fight. And I remember that it seemed like it wasn't the reach and the accuracy so much that Pac was having trouble with. It was that one shot that he kept taking. And I don't think this isn't going to be a hand speed contest. They'll be going quick in the early rounds, but they're going to have to rely on other things. The distance, they're going to have to count on this being the hardest fight of their lives. And definitely one of the most interesting of mine to break down and analyze. This is going to be part 2.2. It's going to be another ramble. So, part 3.